they don't actually call this thing the Wheel of Pain in the movie, do they?
No, what would you call it? The flour mill of torture? I mean, what's the real name of this thing?
There's no really expository dialogue here. Like, hey, look, this is a wheel of pain.
I mean, okay, so it's a big old mill powered by, enslaved humans. They really could have gone like over the top 80s like glam with it. Be like, "Oh yeah, this is the man mill," or this is the meat roller or some, like really make it sound like a
I've
gay
been
bar.
to both of those bars.
This
They
is
have really
actually
good drink specials.
Do they have good apps?
Yeah, great apps.
this is actually CROM's Bop It. Like this is kind of like what spins around his wheel and he kind of hops and then people, like are in pain.
Big booming voice from the heavens. Push it.
Yeah.
Push it real good.
Little did everybody know this is actually how we choose our TC booze. We get the wheel of pain going.
Yep.
When we say spin the wheel, this is the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's children.
Well, we've got a guest.
Child
We've got a guest
slaves.
this week, so let's get to it. Just get to it. Get to it.
Okay.
I want to see
you're
some
gonna
man meat.
Unchain him from the wheel.
Oh,
Not
Bring
your
him to the
man
microphone.
meat.
Roll the intro. Welcome, Sword Boys, Sword Girls, and all the swords in our armory to another cut of Sword Boys, cut by cut. I am Rick.
I'm Robin.
I'm Jonathan. And we
and
have a
I'm
guest.
Travis.
Oh, there he is.
That's right. Our Bowboy is back
That's right. And
to
there's
help us talk about Conan.
Yeah, yeah. And first thing I want to know is what is best in life?
Geez, that is a big question.
Good shoes and walking in a circle.
To say what's best in life is definitely talking about cut 2 of Conan with friends. It goes from 14 minutes 57 seconds until 29 minutes 46 seconds. It begins with little Conan being chained to a mill and ends with big Conan sporting a lovely wolfskin coat.
Mm. This is
Everyone
very dashing.
should come down and try our grist mill. We make the best flour.
Yeah, this cut is specifically the Conan growing up and getting swole and getting really good at swords and stuff. It's his extended Rocky montage.
Yeah.
Got a question for you though. I'm not a real fit dude. Would pushing a giant wheel of pain for this long make you into Arnold Schwarzenegger's level of fitness?
I mean,
Oh.
it's a lot of cardio there. You're walking all day long and you're pushing this thing, and as it goes, he's the only one left standing. So
Yeah.
What's that training called with the ropes and the fucking tire wheels?
arcing ropes.
Yeah, arcing ropes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like
again, that's cut 3. They arc ropes in cut 3.
you. This is actually if Mickey was played by Scott Farkas.
Oh, good callback.
Yeah.
You
nice.
know, because there's this little redheaded boy monitoring everything and whipping wee little Conan.
It's what's his face from Game of Thrones, the Tormund Giant's
Bane. Yeah.
whatever the
He
hell his
grows
name
into
is.
Tormund. He grows into Tormund. Right now,
Yeah.
he's at his Scott Farkas level.
He's
Right.
a baby Tormund. We got baby Tormund and baby Conan.
Yeah.
Isn't it
he
nice these guys grew up together?
There it is.
Yeah.
Well, it's so nice when you get your first pet, and Tormund gets his first pet,
Mhm.
and it's funny they chain all these kids up, like these are all the kids from his town, and as we go through this montage, there are less and less people until it's just him. And tell me what you thought. I always thought, there's something wrong with Conan. That's why he didn't get like sold off somewhere else, as opposed to everyone else died from the torture of the Wheel of Pain, which doesn't make any sense in this world. This world this isn't the Jun Horde. This isn't the Beastmaster world where they just seem to, torture people for no reason. It seems like they have brought them all there to get them buff, to then send them to like fight, like they're fighting stock or whatever kind of stock they are.
So this really is a training thing somehow.
Well, I also
build up that strength.
I don't know.
something that Thulsa Doom will say later on when
Who's
Conan,
that?
some guy, don't worry about it.
Okay.
But so Conan says to some guy like, "You killed my family. You took my father's sword," and Thulsa Doom's reaction is like, "Oh, yeah, when I was younger and seeking, the riddle of steel, something like that." So as Conan grows up, Thulsa Doom he's becoming more of a cult leader and
Right.
less of a warmongering, Attila the Hun sort of guy. And
Mhm.
so they're not bringing as many people to this wheel. They're not enslaving as many people. And so yeah, Conan is just, he doesn't. They're not replenishing coworkers for him. So because Thulsa Doom's like ideology is changing.
But you think that those people are going out and becoming slaves or slaves, swords for hire, or fodder for the games. We find out later, like he just kind of takes them, ogre's bane, whatever we're calling this guy, big redhead, big red.
He's
big
literally
red,
just called
Big
Red
Red.
Hair.
Yeah.
That's
big
all.
Big red just goes, it kind of takes him like almost like a Pokemon. He kind of takes it to
Yeah.
the fight, to fight.
It's
And
just
not
dog
like-
fighting.
Yeah, or cockfighting. Yeah.
What is actually interesting is you could see how easily little Conan turns into big Conan. I say easy because it's Arnold. But if you notice when he's an adult, as he's pushing, you see like 9 to 12 dead bodies hanging from the rest of the wheel as he's just kind of pushing them along too. So he's getting really buff because everybody else is collapsing.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's the idea of pushing this mill around. It seems to me like a full body workout. You've got the legs, obviously, because you're pushing. You got the arms there. You're activating your back muscles. My only hope is that they're not constantly going in the same direction. That sometimes they'll like chain him going the other direction, because it's like when you're run training, they say if you're on a track, you don't always go right to left. Sometimes you got to go left to right as a way to like let your muscles balance out.
So what you're saying is Conan is left dominant, and when he runs in basically a giant circle.
He's all glamour
Right.
muscles. He's all buys and tries and no, I don't know.
Well, we
if
find
they
out
didn't-
later in this cut how dominant he is.
If they didn't switch up the directions, he would be like super buff on one side and then
Yeah.
like less buff on the other side. He would be like cockeyed the whole time.
That would be a great He-Man figure.
Cockeyed?
Balanced guy. Cockeye. I like that.
We're gonna call him Cockeye, and it has the word cock in it.
I noticed
that.
I noticed this time for the first time the wheel itself, all the spokes, all the ends of the spokes, all have like these carved, totems on it. Like one, like dragon, lizard, bear, eagle. I think there's a rhino.
Oh, is it like when you were a kid? Do you think in the morning you run out to your favorite like one, like it's a
Yeah.
carousel?
Right.
Like, I don't want to ride the panda bear. Boo! I want to ride the dragon. That's the cool one.
I think it's like they're divided between teams. Like this is Tiger team. This is Bear
Yeah.
team. It's like Cub Scouts.
Do we have any background on the building of this mechanism? It's a pretty elaborate set for never talking about it and then leaving it immediately after.
Do we even know that it's a grain mill? Because there's no evidence of grain being brought in.
Yeah.
And,
So
I
we
am the
have we have the concept drawings that were made before the movie that show a guy with a bag full of grain going into it. If you look at the like, obviously there's a walking platform, but below the walking platform, there's access ways to get down below. And there's also at the bottom of the major column, you see the large rolling stones
yeah.
that
Which makes me
are
wonder
covered
if
in
it's
white
a
flour.
real.
Okay.
This was like a real something that they built onto and made Conan-y. They made Iberian.
Oh, this is Mick Jagger here, and I
hello,
just want to
Mick.
say, when we have to get the wheel started, we got to start me up. If you're see who's in charge here, you gotta have a little sympathy for the devil. Anyway, you can't always get what you want, so I just wanted to be said. You said Rolling Stones, and I showed up.
I was
I'm so
wondering
glad
if
we've
that was
added
going
that
anywhere.
character. Yeah, no, it didn't. It didn't go anywhere. But
Mick
it's-
Jagger,
it-
I'm never gonna be back ever again. I don't even sound like Mick.
Robin's character is kind of like the wheel. They just go in a circle.
Yep.
Spinning that I'm just drain spinning. That's my life.
What's in the background? I just noticed there's like a tent on fire.
No, it's like there's like a big rock with a ladder up against it, and on top of that rock is like a signal fire.
Okay, is that to tell you that the wheat's the grain's ready?
I think it just lets you know that the beacons are lit and that Gondor calls for aid.
Okay,
yeah.
I do have real trivia.
Conan stands alone.
Yeah.
Arnold actually questioned about the Wheel of Pain and what its real purpose was. John Milius, the director, said that they were grinding grain and that the wheel really does work.
Okay.
Like they really could grind grain in that thing. So I like how the top of the wheel has Mayan Pac-Man.
Yeah.
I don't know what those things are, but
apparently
on top of that, it looks like a animal of some kind.
Yeah. As far as the top of the mill is concerned, apparently that was designed after mastheads from like Viking ships. I think it was like 8th century or something like that. But that's
they're definitely throwing in some this. It's kind of Viking-ish right now. Like at least we're gonna get into like Sumerian when they go to the city. But it starts out Big Red is definitely a Viking. And his buddy did he high fives in like the most gentle manner when he shows up.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes. Can we just make a Hyborian high five a thing? Because I think this is
but it has to be
it's kind of like a bear claw, like
it's like gentle. Yeah. It's like it's so weird.
Yeah, it's not a high five. It's a gentle embrace of this like half clawed hand.
And then like the fingers kind of curl over the fingers of the other person. So red hair is one of the Vanir that we were talking about in the last episode. He's one of the red-haired Scandinavian coated dudes. Yeah. And there's a lot of chatter online about how red hair, like you said, is the same guy that chained Conan to the wheel initially, that they kind of grew up parallel to each other.
Well, not parallel. He was always going in a circle. So
yeah.
My favorite thing here though is how you're watching little Conan push, and it kind of pans down to his legs. His little legs are pushing, and all of a sudden it kind of pans down again, and you see now little Conan has gigantic legs.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
A transition period.
There's a middle kid,
the little guy, and there's like a young adult teenage because he's long and lean, and then it goes to Arnold's legs, just tree trunks, you know.
They're trying to get that long, lean kid out there. What a pain in the ass. He's such a pain in the ass. Like, I don't want to go out there. I don't want to make flour today. I'm going to stay inside. You're not my mom.
Right. Teenage Conan on his phone all day.
Yep.
Get on the wheel.
Get on the wheel.
See, if you're pushing a wheel, that seems like the perfect thing. You just like for like an iPad kid, you just attach the iPad to the wheel, and they'll just push all day because they got Bluey or whatever.
Yeah,
but the second you watch the first season of Severance, leave me alone.
The second you stop pushing, the screen just goes dark, and
because that's what's keeping it on.
That's what's powering. Yeah.
Oh, I like this. So it's the wheel of iPod.
Yep.
iPain. Wheel of iPain.
Okay, I like that.
So we transition into Arnold, and the music gets more triumphant. We have some lovely sun-bleached locks on Conan. I wanted to ask the group, how old do you think Arnold is right now?
27.
No.
24.
32.
Nope. The closest. 33.
Oh.
He's in his Jesus year. Yeah.
Okay, got it. The hair, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Gosh. Okay, so when I said he was lashed to the wheel for like 20 years in the next time, I was more or less, from when he got kidnapped by the Vanir, he kind of was like looked around like 10 or 12. So 20 some odd years, and
13 going on Arnold.
Yeah.
You're right.
I really took a shot in the dark with that one. I don't know where I came up with 20 years.
And really, I love how he's kind of coming out as advertising for Uggs is kind of like important slave wear. Like if you're out there and you got your booties are cold, you got to wear some Uggs, some fur Uggs. Fur Uggs?
Rugs.
Rugs.
I'm on drugs. Anyway.
I also like when Big Red comes up and like basically just kind of gives the high five to his friend. And then he's like, I'm going to take this dude, my pet, that I've been, I guess, getting ready.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if the reason Conan was left behind is because Big Red, like when they brought all of the kids to the wheel, like the different Vanir like picked out, okay, that's going to be my guy, that's going to be my guy. And so the reason Conan is the only one left is because Red Hair's been kind of dragging his feet about entering his dude into the fighting pits. He's like, no, I'm gonna let him stew for another year on the wheel to get even more buff.
It kind of mimics, it kind of mimics Braveheart. Big Red's father was killed, and so his uncle took him all around the world and taught him all these different languages and all this different stuff, and then brought him back. So
I wonder if Tormund like worked every day, like whipping kids on the wheel, like, or did everybody just not look forward to Tor Mondays?
Hey, when you, God damn it.
When you do what you love, you never work a day in your life.
Thank you.
But also, he could be a bitch. He could be the kid, the owner's kid, like some fucking nepo baby.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm gonna go get my guy. My guy's the best. I love my guy's so big.
Should we call him Francis?
Yeah, basically, big red. I'm gonna go get my big guy. Shut up, Big Red. So he goes and he takes Conan, and it seems like this is gonna be a lot of this. Conan doesn't get to ride a horse for a while.
Yeah.
What?
I'm just gonna drag his ass around. So he gets taken and he gets a little headband.
It's like,
yeah, he gets a few bits of kit. He gets the headband. He gets a collar.
It's a lot of looks.
Little wheel pendant that he wears. It's fun that he's got this little symbol of the wheel of pain, because even though he's not physically lashed to the wheel anymore, he's still a captive of the system. He's still, carrying around that, and like his symbol in the fighting pit is a wheel of pain.
It's really honestly like a symbol of like the childhood trauma we carry on throughout our adult life, and it just never ends. We just always carry it around, and I gotta get some therapy soon.
What is the wheel of pain in your life?
Have you been reading all the thought pieces about how the wheel of pain is an allegory and not a literal mill that he was lashed to?
Yeah.
Sometimes the wheel of pain is a literal wheel of pain.
Look, within all of us are two wheels of pain.
So whichever one you feed
yeah. Right now, he's feeding his artsy one with his little crafty little wheel of pain necklace.
Gosh. Well,
that
as
just
long
tells
as
you
he's
what
not,
team he's on.
as long as he's not indulging in the insane body modifications of the guy he's about to fight.
Oh, what the fuck is this guy? Now let's.
I sent him. It's Trapjaw.
Yeah. Half of these villains are definitely like rip-offs of this. I definitely was like, oh yeah, that's a rip-off.
By the way, okay, so Trapjaw here is played by Dragon Dronette,
who's a great name.
Yeah, a props guy. He was a props guy on Total Recall, Tales from the Crypt, Star Trek 6 and First Contact, Batman Returns, Babylon 5. Like, he was just a props guy. I guess they were just like, all right, put some razor teeth in him, strap a helmet
they literally
on.
just said, what props do you have that you could attach to your body and come in here and fight? Oh, I got a great idea. I got these hand things. Because he kind of looks like, now, guys, he's the closest we've gotten to our sexy warriors from Beastmaster. Our bondage warriors. He's the closest. He's the closest gimp we've had since our original gimps.
Inside of us, there are two. What did you call them? Sexy gimps. What?
I bet Dragon is pissed because he's always being put into these like tough guy roles because A, his name is Dragon, and B, he's got razor teeth.
Yeah.
It's like, I just want to do props, guys.
Wait, does he actually have razor teeth?
Oh, those have got to be an insert of some kind.
I hope so.
I just choose to believe what I believe.
Okay, teeth sharpening or whatever it's called. There's like a fancy name for it. It's something that has been practiced by people in history, Africa, South Asia, China, different places like that. Grinding teeth, not super new, but you don't always see it where each tooth is ground down into a sharp point so you can bite into the neck of someone that you fight in a pit.
Right. But he goes through some apples, let me tell you.
Right.
Like
My
this
God.
guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of the time when people get their teeth shaved down, it's so that they can have veneers put on top.
Oh, I've seen that. I've seen it's the grossest thing ever.
Yeah,
so
you
it's
get these
prenears.
little chiclet teeth, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, gross. Good
So
thing they
we're
put
going.
stuff on over them.
Luckily,
Anyway.
they're going to a party.
Yeah.
A party with a bunch of Viking / whatever. I don't know what you want to call them. There's some
Thunderdome.
lawns.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a little Thunderdome.
It's a pit.
Yeah,
It's not a very big
thun-
pit either.
It's not. No.
It's not a dome. It's more of a bowl. It's like
Yeah.
the
Yeah, it is.
Thunderbowl.
Fucking Thunderbowl.
See, eventually we're going to go to
Thunderbowl.
subsequently larger and larger fighting pits until we get to the Super Bowl.
I love that song. I love that.
Ah.
Oh yeah, I love that song though. Thunderbowl's one of my
Thunderbowl.
favorite.
It's
Jason.
yeah, it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
shame that Johnny Cash, didn't get to release that song for Thunderbowl.
Actually, after a good night at Taco Bell, the next morning it was a Thunderbowl, all right. Who has a good night at Taco Bell? Nobody.
I am a little bummed out for Conan that he's not given any instructions on what's
Oh,
going to
yeah,
happen
yeah.
other than sit here
Sit
and
here.
wait,
Sit here.
and then he gets pushed in.
Stare at this guy for a while because it's like sun up when he gets there, and then it's nighttime when they start fighting.
Yeah.
And I love that, like, yeah, when this fight starts, he's just a scared animal because he doesn't
Yeah.
really, aside from like, he's been working this wheel for 20 years, so he's big and strong, but he has no fighting skill. So it's literally a fight or die sort of moment, and he just uses his size to overpower this guy. And then we see him just kind of develop some skills and get better and better. And, I love how that transition and,
And while a lot of people think his first lines are the lamentation of the women, it's actually
Man, I'm just glad that Conan didn't like revert to what he knew, where he like tried to get his opponent horizontal and then like push him.
yeah. Oh, he pushes that guy's head into the wall 3 or 4 times. So,
I
but-
like that that the guy has been true to his weird noises his entire career. Like by the time we even get to Total Recall, he's still making the no one else makes that noise. No
Yeah.
other actor
Yeah.
makes that noise.
Zoom
It
is
gets
really
pretty-
struggling with all these Arnold noises.
I gotta keep it
gets-
low. If I keep
Yeah.
it low, it'll come through.
It gets pretty violent, but it is kind of intimate at first when they're like just like necking and he's working on Trapjaw's bra strap. Oh,
that's just wrestling.
Oh, maybe at the beginning he thought this was about mating, and
Yeah.
he was like,
Oh, right.
we're going to fuck."
fellas, we've
Great.
all been here before, you know.
How many times I
Eventually-
thought we were fucking, but we were actually fighting. It's happened so often.
What's the difference?
You're working on a bra strap or you're grabbing them by a loincloth and smashing their head into a wall. I
Yeah.
mean, we've all been there.
I wish that as he like fought
Ladies.
and won, that we'd see him in different arenas because we just see him in this
yeah.
place
Yeah.
winning against several opponents. I wish that it had gotten to a point where he was like a gladiator in some, maybe not a the Colosseum sort of thing, but something a little bit grander so that like when he is freed and released, like there's a bigger sense of like that he's a valuable asset that why would they chase after him? That's sort of thing.
You wanted more of an Oliver Reed style,
Maybe.
medium-sized gladiatorial.
Can we just watch Gladiator right now?
Yeah, let's watch Gladiator.
Let's just watch Gladiator.
Yeah. I mean, you do, if you look at the details of the fighting pits that he's in, they do change like specific locations, but they are all just pits. There's no
Yeah.
grandeur that you're talking about, like of a Colosseum or of a grand tourney melee
Yeah.
type of thing. He's all pretty small potatoes
Yeah.
rising up the ranks of this like junior league
I
of
like
gladiators.
when he wins. Big Red jumps in with a big stick with that
Yeah.
same fucking wheel on it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, dude, fucking promoter over here.
Yeah.
I guess it kind of
Come
makes
to the
sense.
wheel. It's great times. Sorry,
It
Travis.
no. I think it makes sense now that I think about it. Rick, you mentioned that that there's not a lot of people here, and maybe that's because like Conan isn't going to know what a city is until next cut. So this is just I mean, these are the farmlands. You know, they're out in the sticks here. So I guess pits are all you have, really. I guess you're not gonna.
This isn't WWE. This
This is backyard wrestling.
Yeah, Eastern Wrestling Conference stuff.
Right.
You know.
But I do like how his kit upgrades. Yeah.
Yeah.
He starts off with just bare knuckles, and then he gets the punch daggers and the different gauntlets, and he's got the spikes on the elbows and giving the people's elbow or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think it's augments. I think they have different. I think every fight they have to choose.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I think there's like a wheel. Like, oh, they also have a wheel. But this one is like this, like our wheel.
What should we should give it a name? You know, these devices that inflict pain are up here on this wheel that people can choose from. What should we call it?
So the wheel of pain is really the wheel that chooses what weapons, and like it's like this guy shall be gauntlet face thing man tonight, and this guy will be sword guy. Fuck that guy. So you know we've got because every time he's using something different. Like his little bladey blades. Sometimes he has a sword. Sometimes he has a small knife.
He has an axe at one point.
Yeah.
Yep. Is that a pun?
Can we talk about can we talk about the weird this guy, the bear claw, the bear claw move when he comes out? He has two moves. This guy has two finishing moves. He has, "Hi, I'm Arnold. I'm here," and his arms are extended out like Jesus.
Why? Yeah.
And then like a Y.
Yeah, he's T-posing for dominance.
And then when he finishes, he says hello to Wakanda.
Yeah.
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever.
Which I noted that'll come back at the end of the movie when he has two, swords. He will cross them and do a bow. So
you're spoiling this entire movie for.
Well, I didn't say what he was doing with those swords.
They're swords?
Well,
he doesn't walk around with those his spiked knife hands the whole time.
That's for knife hand boys.
Okay.
Fuck those guys.
This isn't that show.
So then they go on the road. He and Big Red, after the montage, he and Big Red and Clompy go on the road, and they go. This is where they actually get the fighting, like training.
Yeah, I like that we get another voiceover from the wizard. He's talking about listen, Conan was pretty badass in these pits, and no one could beat him. And after a while, Red Hair was like, "Let's take him east. We're going on tour."
He's chained up like a animal in the back of a cart.
Yeah,
but he's in a cart this time because he's a valuable asset.
He doesn't have to walk. Yeah.
He mentions that he was provided like poetry from Katai and philosophy of Sung.
Yep.
Did you look up?
So I'm glad you asked, because Katai is the land east of Hyrcania. It's home to the Swamps of the Dead, as well as the Great Wall of Katai, which at least partially separates Katai from Kusan and Hyrcania. Katai has jungles where the natives live alongside the gray apes, and it's also where the lethal Black Lotus grows. As far as the philosophy of Sung is concerned, there's a couple of people online that suppose that it's like the Hyborianation of like Sung Dynasty stuff, which means that Conan is kind of contemplating the idea of like the concept of Sung in Tai Chi, of the whole like relaxing your body and like fighting by going with the flow and all this other stuff. The Song Dynasty has a rich and varied history on the books. It's of particular interest of discussion in its connection to Genghis Khan and the Mongol conquest, which makes sense because there are like Mongols in this cut specifically.
They are horny Huns. If I had a notebook, that's what I would have written. Horny Huns.
Yeah. I do want to talk about, so this school that he's learning swords in, we have a familiar face in this scene. Robin, did you look up any stuff about Kiyoshi Yamazaki?
Not this guy in particular. No. Tell me.
So, didn't you see that he's wearing his cosplay of Sauron from Masters of the Universe?
He is very horny.
Yeah. So Kiyoshi Yamazaki here, who is standing next to Big Red, and he leaps down into the pit and he corrects Conan, slaps him a few times. We've seen this guy before. He was the sword master who was testing Sonya in Red Sonja. The Grandmaster was there with his shoulder pads, and this
And
guy,
Clan Gooch. He's a Clan Gooch.
this is Clan Gooch.
Oh,
Nice.
it's good to see it's coming back.
This is the guy that went in for the hug with Red Sonja.
So this is a shared world.
Yeah.
He's basically training. He's at Clan Gooch or Clan Gooch adjacent.
Yeah,
Which
this is
I
like
thought if you're near the Gooch, you're near the balls at that point.
I
It's probably
imagine
Clan
that
balls.
I imagine that the Clan Gooch fighting pit where Sonja got her like final test is like an annex location to this. Like this is the proper Clan Gooch school of swords.
This is where the men learn.
Right.
Yeah.
I wanted to back up real quick to the whole Katai thing. Just because what I found was that that Kara Katai is a Chinese-styled empire in Central Asia ruled by Proto-Mongols between 1124 and 1218. But Katai is also the name for northern China in medieval Europe, as reported by guess who?
Marco fucking
Polo.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
This guy again.
Fucking Marco Polo.
It's one world here. I love this. Am I in this too?
You'll be in it later.
You're always in here, Skeletor.
Yep.
That's what
Wherever
she
there are
said.
men with wherever there are men with no shirts on, you will be there.
So,
What's up
yeah.
with this doofy smiling dude next to Conan?
I call him Laughing Boy, and it's like, what is he laughing about? And he just gets kicked, and I'm like, that's exactly what he deserves for whatever he's doing.
And I looked it up. They said that Conan did all of his own stunts because they didn't have anybody that was his size. But then I saw this guy, and I went, that guy could have Conan.
Yeah, he looks like, the Kmart Arnold Schwarzenegger. Conan.
Conan with a K. Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean Conan the Barbarian swordsman? Are we
Yes.
talking about that
Right.
Conan with a K? And he learns reading, writing, arithmetic. He learns the pleasures of the woman.
Where's his accent going?
Let's say Esteban.
They are filming in Spain, so I guess that's Spanish Robin.
You're turning into El Guapo.
He's turning into Esteban from Kill Bill.
You got to take a little Spanish Robin to get yourself thoroughly disgusted.
Yeah. So this whole scene of the Mongols bringing Conan a woman to breed with, like, I guess it's John Milius trying to show us, like, hey, listen, he's a barbarian, but he's not a brute.
Right.
Like, this woman is obviously terrified that she's being put in a cage with Arnold, and he comes over with like the bear skin, and he's like, "Oh no, hey, these guys are creeps for wanting to watch." So, okay, there's a crowd of guys, standing outside this cage watching this breeding program happen. Is this Clan Cuck?
I like that.
Yeah.
Yes. This woman is actually doing a little bit of method acting because John Milius revealed that the actress was genuinely scared of Arnold when she was thrust in that cage.
That's right. I remember hearing that in the Milius doc.
They need to be an intimacy coordinator on the set of this movie.
Oh, that was John Milius. He dual roles.
It's funny because he really kind of lures her. He's like, no, come here, put a little robot.
Now I will fuck
get
you.
these guys. And now here we'll have sex.
Yeah,
we're not going to have sex in front of these perverted Huns. We're going to go over 4 feet
behind a rock, but you gotta. It's a weird scene because you got to remember Conan is kind of just an animal. He doesn't know the I don't know, the rules of engagement with this sort of thing. He was never, he's been lashed to a wheel for 20 years. So
wouldn't it be better if he got her in there and then started beating the shit out of her with giant metal gloves? And you're like, no, Conan, no, love.
This is not a fighting pit. This is the love pit, Conan.
Yeah.
It all depends on like what is in those scrolls that he's reading.
Yeah. He's not reading.
We say breeding, though. I mean, is there breeding happening, or is this just like a reward for doing a good job?
Well, for him,
why not both?
Sex. For her, it's like stallions. They're they're gonna have we now out there somewhere is little Conan's baby.
Oh yeah.
You say stallions? Can I be in this scene too?
No, you'll be in another scene later. Don't worry. Did you just me?
I'm thoroughly disgusted.
I am horny though. I'm gonna walk
Those
in
guys,
front of that girl.
those guys watching at the gate, they'll also watch that show.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, they make me have sex with humans. That's awful.
So then we see Conan whirling around with a sword, the discipline of steel. And
Yeah, because
as
at
one
the end of the
does,
day, it's all about the swords.
and he's smiling. Oh man, this would be just like all of us. Just hand us a sword, let us whirl around. We're gonna be happy as hell.
That sword is so long. It's like a long handle, and the blade is
say more.
I know.
It's veiny.
Yeah.
Apparently, Arnold had to lose a bit of mass in his pectoral muscles for the film because he was unable to perform certain sword moves with them. So
I could
Basically
see
hold
that. Yeah,
sword
going
overhead.
around the back and
Yeah.
take.
Yeah.
Okay. Wonder how long it takes to lose muscle mass like that. Like
I
in a
could do it easily.
specific. we're molded by losing muscle mass.
Yeah.
But for someone like Arnold, how long do you have to train to lose physique?
Because I assume, but a lot of this, I mean, a lot of this stuff when we've seen them before in any movie you watch and any wrestling, these guys are like constantly doing push-ups and pumping like those weight things right before they go on to kind of get themselves as beefy as possible.
Yeah.
I'm sure he just didn't do whatever he needed to do and just like kind of let it settle. I don't know how easy it is to keep this physique. I assume it's extremely hard all the time. So
They don't call it working out for nothing.
Right.
Yes.
It's way harder than just pushing a wheel in the middle of a step somewhere.
yes. So they go to Genghis Ron's camp. This is Genghis Ron, and they're like talking about philosophy, and I enjoy this because there's like a brother, I guess someone from the family sitting over there, another nepo baby sitting over in the corner, and they're like asking him what was the best in life.
Yeah. A falcon at your wrist.
Wind in your hair.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, like the answer that the first Mongol gives, like that is an answer of peace and contentment. It's like, oh, all of these really nice things that just make you feel good. Conan's answer is about conquest and ambition.
Yeah.
Two of the qualities that the Mongols like value. So obviously he's got the right answer.
I feel like this should have been a rule of three sort of thing. There should have been a second one, or the guy talking about the falcons and the winds should have been the second one, or some. It just we're so used to like rule of three. There should have been one guy saying his three things, then this other guy saying his three things, and then the third one is the correct one. It just seems weird to have one example and then Conan's correct example.
Well, another guy could be around the table like, we're gonna go around the table. What do you think?
Yeah.
Ice cream? No, stupid. What is that?
Speaking of the table, is Conan sitting in the middle of the table?
Yeah,
He's on a
table.
lazy Susan.
Like he's an ornament in this scene.
It's so weird because finally get to see. We haven't really seen Big Red's face like illuminated. It's fucking Gwildor. It is 100% Gwildor face. And he's like he's sitting in the cuck chair, watching his prized possession on the lazy Susan, answering the questions.
Yeah, I don't know why he's sitting on the table. Do you think anybody bothered to question him, or they're just like, oh, just let him sit there? I guess.
Fucking Conan comes
He doesn't know the rules. He's an animal.
He doesn't know chairs.
He doesn't know to stay off the furniture.
He's about to fuck one of those old men. Just wait.
He walks in and he's like,
Grab
if
him
I
and take it.
fits, I sits.
Is this my prize? No, Conan, no, Conan. You can't, no, snoo. No snoo. Stop it.
So his big quote here is, according to the trivia, abbreviation of a real quote attributed to Genghis Khan. The quote is, "The greatest pleasure is to vanquish your enemies and chase them before you, to rob them of their wealth, to see those dear to them bathed in tears, to ride their horses and clasp to your bosom their wives and daughters."
Wow.
All right.
Nice.
What a nice man.
Yeah.
And that's-
Was Genghis Khan a nice guy?
I have to look it up online.
Geez. Oh, man,
I mean, he definitely proliferated.
I'll be right
He
back with
definitely-
you guys.
Exactly. He's a common ancestor
Uh-huh.
Of all of
among
us.
a lot of
Granddaddy
people.
Khan? I love Granddaddy Khan.
Genghis Khan is a complicated figure in history, and whether he was a nice guy depends on how you define that. He's often remembered for his brutal military campaigns, which resulted in the deaths of millions of people.
Yeah.
He used psychological warfare, executed mass slaughters, and destroyed entire cities. Skip. In the end,
But did he say?
But
Please?
he was nice about it though.
Yeah.
Genghis's legacy is a mix of both extreme cruelty and remarkable leadership. So whether he was a nice guy really depends on the perspective you take. Yeah.
And this is one of those things where, we get that scene, and we're like, okay, he's like learning and learning to become this whatever, this tool. And the next scene, Big Red is like in his cups, I assume, weepy bitch man, and is like, I can't get rid of him.
He's guilty. He feels guilty.
You gotta fly free.
One of the best theories I've seen online as to why Big Red releases Conan into the wild is that he kind of like realizes that like Conan has outgrown just being a gladiator. Like he's gotten to the point where he's like this big, strong guy who has like actual wisdom in that, he was able to answer the con correctly. And so he's like, you know what? If I keep you around any longer, you're going to start getting ideas in your head, and then my head is on the chopping block. So I'm going to release you into the wild and let you do your own thing so that way you don't turn on me.
I'm holding you back, you little butterfly. I love you so much.
Which I for some reason in my head canon, I guess, this guy probably got killed for releasing Conan. Because if they're going to send the dogs after him to get him back, they probably
do you
killed
think those
whoever.
Are dogs? Those are security dogs? I just thought those were wild dogs.
Oh no, those are definitely wild dogs.
I don't know. I guess I always read it as
I don't think it as
he was being pursued, and
if they're security dogs, I would wonder who let them out.
Oh God damn it, Robin!
That's a genuine question.
That is a worthwhile question asking who
maybe some Baja men
indeed released these dogs. Yeah.
And I think it's weird that I wish he'd grabbed the necklace, the wheel necklace, and ripped that off of Conan. Instead, he takes his little hat off, his little headpiece.
Tiara.
Yeah, I like that.
Leather tiara. Yeah.
Well, I'm a princess. No, don't take it off.
Pretty princess.
So yeah, he takes it off and cuts off his chains, and not all of his chains.
Yeah,
thanks a lot, dickhead.
Yeah. We'll leave some chains. Can't make it too easy.
Yeah,
but I like that he reacts like a scared animal. He doesn't understand what this is, why he's being released, and he just gets Harry and the Hendersons out of there.
Exactly.
Again, it would be amazing.
Get out of here.
We don't want you.
We don't want you anymore. Kicked him to get rid of him, and then he just comes back and tries to make sweet love to Big Red. It's like, no, snoo. What the hell's wrong with you? Gosh,
he's trying to wrap a cloak around him. Like, no,
I'm trying to fuck me. That's probably why he's finally getting rid of him. Big Red is so he's awakened this sex monster, a real sex monster.
All sex nuts and Arnold Strong.
Yeah, stop trying to woo me, Arnold. Jesus Christ.
My porn name is Skeletor. Hey, these dogs that are coming up here, Amelia said when you had the dogs chasing Schwarzenegger and he's running, he's actually running for his life because he knew those dogs were very dangerous and they even attacked their trainer. He suffered a back injury among other various assorted injuries while filming because he fell down the rock he was climbing to escape them.
Which this scene just reminds me of The Hobbit, because at a certain point they're getting chased by war goblins.
And they climb into that magic hole.
Yeah, and find legendary swords in this cave. So,
my gosh,
and it's kind of.
Are you saying Lord of the Rings ripped off Conan the Barbarian?
When was Lord of the Rings published?
1950. Well, this would be The Hobbit. 40s, I don't know, late 40s, early 50s. So,
well, this scene is based on a 1967 Conan story called "The Thing in the Crypt," written by one of the people that took up that his license and root for him. Where
parallel development is what you're saying.
Conan is chased by wild dogs, discovers a crypt, and within it a sword and a mummy, and apparently the mummy in the story rises from the dead and starts fighting Conan, which
is what I expected after watching The Northman.
Yes.
This
And there's even
actually
a
was-
hint of it because like the mummy starts to kind of move, like because like it's reacting to other movement, but
this was originally what was going to happen.
Okay.
And then we don't have
to
it.
fight undead.
Yeah. We're not watching the director's cut, but in the director's cut, Conan makes sweet love to that mummy. You don't see that, but it
It looked like you wanted to get boned.
I'm gonna put another bone inside of him.
207 now.
Why are you Yoda?
yeah.
I don't know.
So he makes fire. So he makes
Really working on
fire.
it.
He's smart enough to make fire.
I went back and watched that because I kind of looked down at my notes and then looked back up and there's fire all of a sudden. I thought, is this one of those, the and sorcery part of this kind of movie? Is this just a cave where there's a perpetual fire? And then so I backed up. I was like, oh no, he just literally starts it with a flint and whatever. So I was kind of glad to see that he's resourceful enough to do this. But I also just kind of figured, well, this is that sort of movie where this would just be a cave with this perpetually burning, sort of supernatural fire. But either would be fine. So
And he has to find a staff, and then he has to put the amulet on top of the staff, and then he has to make sure that they're digging in the wrong place.
right, you take
Is he drinking from the right
back
cup in
one
there?
katam for the
For CROM.
for Grom.
One katam for CROM.
Yeah.
So
Katams for CROM.
in this, I'm sure we're going to get into. I'm sure Rick and or Robin has a ton of backstory on. This is our first like Atlantis bullshit.
Atlantean sword.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
like
so-
I'm sure there's backstory to all of this. I'm sure this guy was force sensitive at some point, and he's in Wikipedia. He's in Conapedia.
So I haven't been able to find exactly who this skeleton is, but he's sitting on a throne
I know who he is.
in a tomb, surrounded by servants that were buried with him. He's got this great emblem behind him that is of an erupting volcano.
Yeah, it
So
is.
it's very clearly like an Atlantean design.
Well, the Conanpedia or whatever, Conan Wiki says the Atlantean sword is a bastard sword that once belonged to an ancient king who, along with the sword and several servants, was buried in a small tomb. So,
It's funny that the Atlantean sword has never really gotten. I'm sure now, like modern day, I bet there's a backstory we don't know. There's probably a comic book or a graphic novel where they actually show kind of like a prequel. It's like kind of following the sword's life with the
That'd be
king
cool.
of Atlantis and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Are we supposed to in this? Is this like because he is he is an Atlantean. Conan is of the people of Atlantis. So is this one of those self-fulfilling, like he is taking up the sword of his people to
Is that
right their
established?
wrongs?
Well,
We talked about this in cut one. The people that he is.
the Sumerians are descended from the
Okay,
Atlanteans.
okay.
It's
like
not in the
generations
movie.
and generations and generations.
But, yeah, and this is
Okay.
like Wheel of Time, the Aiel. They are hundreds of thousands of years or thousands of years later.
okay.
I don't know how long ago. Do we know how long ago Atlantis sunk at this point? Like, is there a vagary? Like, it's been 1,000 years since or has it only been like 100 years? There's still like wisps of the Atlanteans. Like they seem to bring up Atlantis and Atlantean stuff as if it existed. It no longer does. It's kind of like Blockbuster. It's like,
I used to work there. Yeah, according to the original script, the tomb where he gets it from is from the lost city of Atlantis, but obviously it's not said here.
Yeah.
There is this also is foreshadowed in the beginning of the movie where young Conan's father
Yes.
tells young Conan that CROM lives in the earth, which apparently foreshadows this skeleton. So
Which makes
That's why
him
he
maybe
thinks
think that
it's
it-
CROM.
CROM or
he literally says CROM.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I always
Yeah.
thought that he thought that this was CROM. So
Yeah, I think it's more likely that Conan is using this is one example. We're going to see another example in cut 3. But when Conan sees something unexpected that he can't quite explain, his exclamation is CROM.
Yeah.
Instead of saying like, oh shit.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Exactly.
By Grabthar's hammer. Yeah.
He has no concept of who Jesus Christ is, so he
Right.
just says CROM.
Crum.
What I have a very important question here.
Oh, good.
So of the two swords, basically the two swords in this movie, the young Conan's father's sword and the Atlantean sword, which one's your favorite?
Ooh, I am a big fan of the Atlantean sword.
Yeah,
I think it's
I think the other one has too much shit on it.
yeah.
It's like I think you should leave. It's got too much shit on it. It's got like too much.
Yeah, it's got like a raven skull in the hilt
Yeah.
and then the cross guard and
Yeah. I like the idea of this being like a mythological sword as opposed to something some dude made in the mountains. So
Yeah.
like there's more story behind this. I like this.
I wish it had
Yeah.
a better name, but of course we also watch Beastmaster where the sword has no name.
sure.
So this is probably
It's
second worst
young
name.
Dar's father's sword. That's the
Right.
name
Yeah.
of the sword.
This is probably for me second worst name for a sword. Although you know what, Connor McLeod's sword, that's Ramirez's sword, doesn't actually have a name
Good.
either, other than Ramirez's sword, katana.
I think this is my favorite, also the Atlantean sword. I think this is also the best sword and sorcery fantasy sword.
Mm.
Okay,
Period.
more than Cull
Mhm.
or what's
Any
that?
of any of
Yeah.
the
Well, we
that
haven't-
three bladed sword in that one dumb movie.
Ator or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
Flash Gordon's sword.
Ugh.
That's Ming's sword. Flash Gordon's just borrowing it.
Oh, that's
Right. That's why he never actually uses it.
Yeah, doesn't count. Not a real sword.
Yeah.
No, I
Um,
agree. I agree. As a sword boy, this is the quintessential sword.
So
I don't know. I love
There
Ramirez's
is-
sword
so-
much better.
So speaking of there being too much stuff on a sword, the Atlantean sword actually does have some runic carvings on it, but the master sword maker for Conan the Barbarian, Jody Sampson, said it doesn't mean anything. It's
Yeah,
literally
he just made him up.
They said in the thing that each sword cost $100,000. I don't know if I believe that. That feels like a sword maker being like, okay, I'm gonna, yeah, sure, $100,000. Yeah, that's how much it's gonna
It's Spain. They don't work for like 2 hours in the middle of the day.
Mm.
So
Sounds like a
like
Tori Hanzo sword to me.
exactly. Milius showed up and he's like, I need a sword, and
Well, we're kinda
Samson's
near-
like, it'll take 3 months.
Yeah,
You can sleep
eat some
here.
sushi.
We're kind of near
Take a shower.
the end of this cut. The one thing we didn't ask Travis was like, "What's your background? You wanted to be on?" Travis was like, "Can I be on some Conan
It
episodes?"
sounded
We're like,
just like that.
Sounded
Yeah,
just
that
like it.
makes me sound a little, I would what
Guys,
I didn't come to you crying in the night,
you did. You
Can I-
You were.
can I
And I had
come
to
on?
take
you
your.
came crying like a little bitch.
I took your tiara off, and you kept trying to fuck me, and I was like, "Leave me alone, Travis. You can be on the show. Just stop trying to have sex with me."
but at least I brought you wine.
Yeah, it's true.
Hey, I didn't get any of that.
Yeah, I had seen this movie at some point in my like after college, just in my that late 2000s.
Oh, so late in life. This wasn't a kid.
No, this
Wasn't
was
a kid,
not
Travis.
What is watched late in life, Conan?
right. So I had watched it, and then oddly enough, the podcast, the Smodcast, Kevin Smith, Scott Mosier,
Never
they
heard of
had early in their run of that show, they talked about this movie, and they just brought up some of the stuff. I won't spoil it, spoil what happens later in the movie, but they talked about some key scenes later in the movie that I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. And then Scott Mosier actually he produced the Milius the documentary about John Milius, which is a great fucking movie. And I watched it. I don't know if I watched, Conan first and then rewatched it and then watched the Milius documentary or vice versa. But that like suddenly kind of just got me back into this movie. So I rewatched it, just fell in love with it. And it's like, this is the gold standard for sword and sorcery movies. I think this is what you compare.
Yep.
Any of the movies like that, in that sword and sorcery genre,
It has all the tropes
compared
that you're
to
used
this.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like the music by Basil Poldoris, I love this score for this movie. This is one I listen to quite a bit. And I just talked to Rick recently about the same guy did the music for Quigley Down Under, which is another just beautiful score. But yeah, this one has some perfect themes throughout it, and we're gonna get into a great bit of music in the. Well, you guys will in cut 3. I don't know who your guest is, some lucky bastard. But I love this movie.
I'm gonna say at this point, I don't think I've seen this movie before. I
Really?
just nothing is familiar to me. Nothing.
Wow.
So I think I've just seen Destroyer 100 times and just never seen
God.
this.
Yeah, we talked about this last time when you said you didn't know. You said you vaguely remember this, but you're saying now
I think I'm just mixing Destroyer memories.
or you've probably seen. I mean, you've seen cuts of this on you've seen this shit everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like people who haven't seen Platoon know the ending of Platoon. It's just it's just part of culture now.
I will say, when I did first watch this movie, I remembered bits of the Tree of Woe scene. Like, so I had seen a flash of that as a kid, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So there were, things it was probably on a Channel 4, on a Sunday, and I just didn't, sit down to watch the whole thing probably,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah.
I wish I could have seen this movie. I wonder if there's a TV cut that has less blood, but they added extra scenes. You know how they have to do that back in the day?
Yeah.
One time I was watching Trading Places on TV, which is like dirty as shit and has nudity and shit. So to replace the time that they pulled, they put in scenes cut from the movie where Clarence Beeks, the guy who like steals the orange juice thing, they have the scene where he goes and gets the orange juice forecast. There's a scene in the movie, and I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? I've watched Trading Places 1,000 times, and I have no idea what this scene is. And it's like cut from the movie, and I was always wondering, did Conan get that treatment? Is there another? Because we talked about this, Rick. There is no other cut, right? There is no.
It's probably long enough that you could just easily cut it down for time without having to add.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 hours, 10 minutes. If you got to get it down to, like, I think when you're running stuff on TV, you've only got a 2 hour block of time anyway, minus commercials. You got to get it down to
145,
like
140.
90, 100 minutes, somewhere in there.
All right. Well, I just want more. And some of these older movies don't have this one has great behind the scenes photos.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love the photos of Arnold because he's definitely wearing a wig. I love that him just running around with his friend, like just basically having a great time.
Are we sure that's Arnold Schwarzenegger running? We'll get there.
He does his own stunts, but I think my favorite behind the scenes picture is him and Sandal Bergman like training with the sword master, and they're wearing gis. They've got the training swords that they've got in the scene earlier here.
Robin's favorite picture is Wilt Chamberlain and Conan.
Oh, yeah. One of the Dabos. One of the Dabos.
Yeah.
I love those Dabos.
But back in the cut proper, Conan climbs out of this cave with his new sword, cuts the chain from his leg.
Yes.
And then the dogs are like, oh, he's back.
Fucks those dogs up. Fuck those dogs up good.
Yeah. I can't imagine why they didn't want to show the audience him slaughtering a pack of dogs. Would that have hurt his opinion? The opinion of him that the audience had.
Plenty of actual real animal cruelty in this movie.
Yeah.
So I don't understand it either. A little off-screen hacking. Some yelping maybe would have been.
I don't think there's any proof that he did anything to hurt those dogs. No. And then between now and the next scene, he just walked into a tailor of fine clothing and
Furrier.
Give me your finest fur,
Right.
your boots, and your sunglasses.
even his goddamn sword gets a 3-piece wolf suit.
It's like a sheath made of the.
It's exactly like the Connery scene in Highlander 2, The Quickening.
Yeah,
they're draping all of these different pelts on him, and like the assistant puts a pelt, and then the head tailor comes over, rips that pelt off because it's not right.
You work on commissions, don't you? Big mistake. huge.
Gosh, we didn't talk about this, but when Conan first picked up the Atlantean sword, it was covered in a layer of something. And I always thought that was like a layer of fine rust. And then he hits it on the rock and the rust falls away. And then I'm like, that's not how rust is removed. You don't just smack a piece of metal and it's perfectly sharp underneath. And I realized from reading a bunch of different stuff, that's the dried and like desiccated husk of a leather scabbard.
Oh,
so he's trying to like brush the pieces of leather off and they're not coming off. So he just hits it really hard and the stuff breaks off.
Okay.
Because like
Atlantean crust.
Right. It like it wouldn't be perfectly sharp underneath if that was rust.
I think I always just thought it was, caked on like muck or mud or just something down here in the earth but that makes a lot more sense that it was just a dried out scabbard.
This is Atlantis, so I thought they were barnacles. You gotta bust those barnacles off if you want to get your Atlantean sword going.
Quick question. Did he have sex with those dogs before or after he killed them?
No, but he's got a belly of wolf stew right now.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I'm with you.
All right. Thanks, Skeletor, you fucking horny bastard. All right. Well, so Rick, what happens next time?
Yeah, so Milius loves to do his like soft transitions between scenes. So like as we're fading out from this scene, it's time to get ready because next time Conan encounters a witch in the wilds who points him in the direction of the snake cult he seeks. Before hitting the road in the morning, Conan finds his new best friend, the thief and archer Subutai, and the two decide to check out the snake cult. Chew it slowly, it's the good stuff in cut 3 of Conan the Barbarian.
Should be exciting.
And go to our Patreon at patreon.com/swordboys for all of the extra stuff. We have a lot of movies. Soon we're going to be putting out probably going to put a Patreon on the main just so you guys can hear kind of the dumb shit we do.
Oh, dumb shit. Never mind.
So it's twice the fun.
It's a good sit.
It's a good sit. Thanks. And Travis the patron, so he gets to be on the show. So,
Yeah.
you pay, you can be on the show. I don't care.
Yeah. The Patreon episode after this one is our first foray into the Highlander TV show. So that's going to be a fun one. We do the sensible thing of jumping into the season finale of the 3rd season.
What a lot of people don't know is that to be on this show, you either have to fight us or make sweet love to us. So those are the 2 choices. And it's all 3 at the same time. So
well, I'll bring the wine.
All right. Is that a wine bottle? It's huge. Clang clang.
Clang.
Clang.